What up? What up? Yo, 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 yo. This will be a very short stream because I just realized my phone is down to like 5%. So we'll do a short live, babies. Babies, and I'll come back for more, as the rat song says. My bad, my bad. Sorry about that. I've been using my phone a lot today. There's a lot of shenanigans going on in the Los Angeles comedy world. So I've had to conduct some business. Thank you very much. You know, I'm like the Matt Drudge of LA comedy. So, you know, people call me for the stink. No one calls me for gigs, but they call me for the stink. So, yeah, and watching some Kill Tony on Netflix for like 30 minutes. It was fucking horrible. You know, I'm never gonna watch it, so you know, I'm not hating on the show, to be honest with you. I mean, I've done it, as you guys know, 5 or 6 times. So you know, the general consensus is it's not very good, but you know, I can't I can't really comment on it. You know, I don't know if it's good, and I'll never watch it. So, yes, Arn Anderson, a great heel, the muscle behind Ric Flair. Is there a way to find out on your iPhone exactly how much of a battery life you have? I mean, this battery looks pretty low. So let me. We'll just go till it goes. I mean, you know, but that's almost good for the show if it was bad, because that opens up the door for Tony. What's your favorite Kiss non-makeup album? It's an album that not very many people like, but Crazy Nights, when they basically brought in Desmond Child to make them sound like Bon Jovi, and they added keyboards. I mean, a very underrated Kiss song is My Way. It's a great song. I mean, it's a great 80s song. I'm gonna talk like I talk, walk like I walk my way. I'm gonna go where I go, MTV know my way, in the danger zone. It's a jagged edge we climb, but if you take it like stone and stand on your own, you could make the grade in time. I mean, that's funnier than anything that was on Kill Tony. Aren't heard. Well, ask Sid. Ask my boy Sid. Where's my Sid dolls? Well, my Sid dolls are over there now. They kept falling down. I mean, Kiss Double Platinum, it was just too soon to release a greatest. Basically, that's a greatest hits album. It's like you guys only have like 3 albums. And, you know, the fourth one was Alive. And then they did Love Gun and then Alive 2. So, I don't know. It's not what I would have done. But hey, I'm not a fucking music manager. Excuse me. So, but, you know, I think here's the great thing about Kill Tony, and I'm almost I don't know, for some reason I like this angle instead, but then just straight on as I'm fucking around with the camera. Um, you need auto tune. Well, that's not very nice, Katie. My voice is my voice. If you don't like the sound of my voice, go to NLO right now, and you can hear about Michael Ray Bowers. So, but I appreciate the feedback. Um, and I make a lot of money doing voiceover work, so I don't need no auto tune, brother. How dare you? I'll end this stream right now. And then you could listen to Steel Toe for 7 hours, a retrospective. I'm fired up today. No one's taking me down. I'm just kidding. I'm coming in hot. What up, Mac Ryan? This is a great Kiss shirt. Creatures of the Night, even though Ace Frehley wasn't on the album. Shit. That was my first foray into Kiss being, how you say, con artist. And even I knew he wasn't on the album. I was like, this sure doesn't sound like Ace. So, you know, what are you going to do? Welcome to Kiss. Welcome to the Kiss Army world. So, what up, Caleb? We'll do a 15-minute stream right now so I can recharge my phone. So let's make these last 8 minutes count. Let's get into it. I mean, I'm sure. What up, Ross? It was just the manager, and they were probably burnt out because they were touring nonstop. They had put out, I think, 3 albums in a year and a half, which is unheard of. So I'm sure they needed a break. It's like, hey, let's just put out basically. It's not called a greatest hits album, but it essentially was up until that point in their career. So, what happened yesterday? I can't get into it right now, but rest assured, I will when the time is right. There's still some T's that need to be crossed and some I's that need to be dotted. So, it's a big deal in the LA comedy world. The next stream, I'll get into it. I've got to do some fact checking, if you will. Unlike others in the streaming world, I just don't blab. I verify, and then I talk. But, the LA comedy world is abuzz. What up, William Zoom? My phone's about to die, so this will be a 15-minute stream, a Zoom stream. Zoom, zoom. And then we'll do a longer one when my phone is fully juiced. Who knows? This may be the wave of the future, quick streams. I can't do these 7 or 8 hour marathons that some people in the streaming world do. Yes, I guess I could do that. Let's see if that works. Zoom is always on top of it. Let's see here. I gotta clean off the counter here. Whoa. This won't be a very exciting background. See how that goes. Let's see how this goes. I'll straighten it up for you guys because I actually give a shit. All right. They are still working on my palace. As you can hear. What up, M Video Creator 2.0? Big Earl, howdy doody partner. Happy Monday. Everyone goes to work while I stay home jerking the day away. Good for you. Yes, that is a circular saw. I mean, I think Bill Aucoin, who was Kiss's manager, he struck while the iron was hot. He's like, hey, we got to pump out everything we can, and then, you know, we'll deal with the repercussions when we have to deal with them. And then, I think the releasing of the four solo albums was really the true beginning of the end. And that was done to keep the band together. But when you look at it, I think what they should have done is release like one big album, and each band member got like four songs each. So it's kind of a solo album, but it's still a Kiss album because it was just too much product to release at the same time. I mean, and it had to kill Gene and Paul that Ace had the biggest hit, New York Groove. And then What Up Three from Heaven, and then Peter's album was, I mean, it was the most true to himself. I mean, he's a jazz guy, so it was kind of jazzy sounding, but that's not what Kiss fans want to hear. Ace's album was probably the best showcase of the Four's talents, and then Paul's was the most Kiss-like album, and then Gene was like, "Oh, look at all the celebrities I can get to play with." Um, so um, Lois is chilling right now. I can assure you of that much. Yeah, something. Yeah, I mean, they each get a side, and um, something along those lines. Hold on, I'm getting a communique I must answer, so we're going to pause the stream for 2 seconds. Hold on. Sorry about that. The LA comedy world is really popping right now, so. Sorry about that. The LA comedy world is really popping right now, so. I'm getting all kinds of. I'm getting all kinds of messages. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, Phantom of the Park was a horrible movie, even by TV standards. But the crazy thing is that was the most expensive TV movie ever made up until that point. So, um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say if I had to mark the beginnings of the end of Kiss, is they were making so much money after Love Gun. I mean, I think they were Polestar's most popular band 2 years in a row. That, um, you know, I think Peter and Ace's drug problems started really taking, effect. And then, Gene and Paul were like, fuck you guys. And then, so, by the time Dynasty came around, Peter was not involved in that album very much, if at all. I think the one song he did was Dirty Livin'. And then, the next album, I don't think he was on Unmasked at all, except in the video for Shandy, but Anton Fig was the drummer. And then I think Ace felt bad because he was going to get um, outvoted, on everything 2-1 because Eric Carr wasn't going to get any votes. And then they get rid of Ace, and then they get. But they survived in the '80s. I mean, Vinnie Vincent, Mark St. John updated their sound, and Bruce Kulick was sane enough to carry it on. So you know, where do they spend the money? I mean, Ace and Peter probably up their nose. Gene and Paul kept their money for the most part. Yeah, they bought some homes and cars, but like, they were making, I think after Love Gun, they were making 100 million a year. Now, who knows how much they saw that 100 million, but 100 million in '77 was a lot of fucking money. Um, so, all good, Three from Heaven. you got to understand, like 100 million in 77 is probably the equivalent to like 300 million, or like the kind of money that Taylor Swift makes now. Gas was $2 back then, or a dollar, whatever. It might have been even cheaper than that. You could buy a mansion in, Beverly Hills for $1 million. Now it's 10 to 20 to $30 million. So, um, they Ace and Peter were not adapting well to being millionaires. Whereas I think Paul and Gene um, were a little more business savvy. Yeah, but I think um, they were just throwing money at shit. And I think Ace and Peter were so bombed out they had to use like stunt doubles for them. And then I think in the one scene by the pool where Peter talks, it's clearly not his voice. So like they refuse to do voiceover work, which is funny given the field that I'm in now. Um, and that's kid. What was that? What Phantom of the Park come out in '78? So they were like probably, being on a film set sucks, man. It's literally our TV show. I guess that's a TV movie, so it was a little bit of both. Um, and I think, um, I think that you know they were just not gonna show up on a film set and hang out for 15 fucking hours. I mean, that's what it is. It's hurry up and wait is the best saying on a film set. And I think that, um, but back then, I mean, yeah, they weren't making Star Wars, but if you look at the laser special effects, that probably was expensive back then. Um, so, yeah, I mean, the special effects, I think that one of my favorite cult films, Roller Coaster, came out at Magic Mountain, I think the year before. And if you look at the special effects on that film, they're pretty cringy, but it was 77. So I want to kiss coffin. Well, I'm sure Gene will sell you one. Maybe he'll sell you one with Bonafide's comb in it. Brother. Oh, message hell for review. What up, Ryan? These are always fun. All right, we don't talk about that stuff in here, Elijah. Come on, man. At least be funny. No bombing in my stream, you son of a bitch. I mean, $3 million—that's insane. And they probably had to like lose money on security to go get Ace and Peter. I mean, they were probably holed up. Um, you know, what are you gonna do? Roller Coaster is a great movie, and the first movie in surround sound. So I remember seeing it in a theater, and you really thought you were on a fucking roller coaster. Now here's it's not a bad movie. I mean, Timothy Bottoms is a great bad guy. Um, and then George Steele is funny, and of course the great Richard Widmark is in it. And I believe it's Steve Gutenberg's first um, movie. But the problem is, I think it opened the same week, or the week before, or the week after, one of those three, after Star Wars. So it just was bad timing. Um, yes, Dimebag Darrell got buried in a Kiss coffin with I believe, an Eddie Van Halen guitar. Yeah, I mean, they probably, were making so much money, and they probably had four opinions on how to do things. I would say probably Gene and Paul were a little aligned with each other, as were Ace and Peter. So it was basically 2 on 2, and it was everyone had an equal share. And you could really see the roots of Kiss fracturing when they did the Tom Snyder show. And if you look up Kiss and Tom Snyder, it's a pretty epic interview where Gene and Paul are trying to be serious and talking about Kiss business, and Ace and Peter are just blasted. And you could see that was bothering Gene and Paul. So, um, well, I don't think they were lining up to see Roller Coaster, but I think if Star Wars hadn't come out, say for 2 more months, 3 more months, Roller Coaster would have had a nicer run at the box office. Because those kind of movies in the early to mid '70s were pretty big, like disaster movies, and it's a great like cat and mouse game, between the bomber and it's a great like plot. Like I guess you could say it was almost like one of the first movies about early terrorism. Um, oh, okay. I mean, I watch it every time it's on. I mean, it's such good acting. Like, is it the greatest movie of all time? No, but look at that cast. I mean, I'm such a Richard Widmark fan, and he's um, so good as like he always plays a good dick. And I think he was in the original Scarface, but he was um, what was it? Against All Odds, he played a great heavy, and yes, we're having a pretty good day today. Just doing a nice, friendly Monday afternoon stream, talking about old movies from the '70s, and you know, I've already inhaled my energy drink. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't try and make sense of wrestling Night Moose. I mean, technically, Sting should have been sued for assault. Um, well, I mean, I think that with Roller Coaster, I don't know, it's just a good movie. Like it's good acting. It's like almost I wouldn't say it's a B movie, but it's like an action movie that with a good cast. I mean, it didn't have any stars. I mean, I guess Richard Widmark. I don't know if I'd say he was a star, but like he was a known person, especially in '77. He did a very kind of not similar movie, but he was in right around the same time as Roller Coaster, The Swarm, which was about killer bees attacking. Um, so yes, I am closer to the fridge. That is the background. Hey, we're only 80 people away from reading the letter, so yeah. I mean, Roller Coaster was almost like on a Cobra level. We're just, I don't think anyone's watching Cobra thinking this is a fucking documentary. Or I always use the um, example of Predator, where Predator is like the perfect action movie. I mean, it makes sense from the standpoint of the script, the writing, the acting, the beginning, the middle, the finale. It's a pro wrestling movie. That's what good pro wrestling is. Good guy, bad guy. Why do you root for the good guy? Why do you root for the bad guy if you do root for the bad guy, or root against the bad guy? Or maybe you might root against the good guy. You know how many people hated John Cena when he was doing that? You can't see me. So I don't know. I love kind of I mean, I wouldn't say Roller Coaster was an obscure movie because it had some buzz around it because it was the first movie in Dolby Sound. And I never will forget being in what was it? The Man Bruin Theater in Westwood. And Star Wars was at the Fox Theater. So it was like directly competing, basically. And in the roller coaster scenes, the movie would shake, or the movie theater would shake. So yes, Cobra with Sylvester Stallone is pure yummy goodness. Can you imagine how messed up Predator would be if they had Van Damme in it? Yeah, it just didn't. I mean, it worked with Kevin Peter Hall. Um, Now, what I'm interested in is when me and Chad Zumock had Vernon Wells on our podcast. We did a simulcast, if you will. Um, Vernon Wells said he replaced the bad guy in Commando So the letter will be revealed when we get 100 people in the stream. Um, so I'll have to rewatch the roller coaster scene. I know exactly what scene you're talking about. Um, so yeah, I mean the Revolution was innovative at the time, and I think it's still there. I mean, I haven't been to Magic Mountain in quite a while. Um, no, from what I've been read, Roller Coaster was the first movie in surround sound. Um, listen, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Three from heaven. I never discouraged. Yes, 100 people, 100 likes. Yeah, Vernon lost his whole house, from what I'm led to believe. Now, I know William Zoom said, "What if we gave you $100?" I don't grift for money like that. You know. So, yeah, too bad for Vernon Wells because he's a really nice guy. Um, like he tolerated all my shenanigans on that podcast. So hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button, pretty please. We'll go to 30 minutes and then maybe we'll come back a little later. I got some business to attend to, if you guys don't mind. So, 2 more minutes. But I just want to check in with my peeps. Hope everyone had a good weekend. And that's about it, you know. What debuted in 76? Earthquake or Roller? I thought Roller Coaster was 77. What makeup game on Thursday, Matt? I know not. Oh, Kentucky Fried Chicken was, yeah, that was awesome. Um, I mean, that movie was kind of ahead of its time. I mean, it was kind of like pre-Airplane, you know, pre like Naked Gun spoof movies, of course. Oh yes, yes, the Flames and the Kings. That's a big one for the Flames. Oh, and for the Kings if they lose tonight against Edmonton, and Edmonton and the Kings are tied. I mean, a lot of shit going down this week in hockey. Um, so Tony Atlas next Dark Side. That should be a good one. Oh, anytime, JJ, anytime. So that's a big week. I mean, now hockey gets good. You know, the playoffs, it's fucking warfare, man. There's no, like, it's on like Donkey Kong. So, you know, I mean, tonight's a big game. I don't know if I'd say it's must win, but with McDavid and Draisaitl not playing tonight, um, oh, the Revolution debuted in 76. I'm sorry. You know, I know we get some cross talk in here. I mean, I remember, I know Stanley Wilson was my boss. I remember, well, you know the story. Like, when I was told, go downstairs and your trainer will train you on how to work the equipment and whatnot, I go downstairs and Stanley Wilson, this hulking football player, is asleep on the life cycle. Um, so we must win as well. Time is running out for, yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, it's tight, and there's, you know, Montreal's like in the bumper position, but if they lose their 2 games, um, you know, and who was it? Columbus, I think, is you know, definitely in the mix. So yeah, I mean, when Stanley Wilson busted for cocaine the night before the Super Bowl, um, well, I think here's the thing: Montreal's up 4 points. So if they lose out and Calgary wins the 3 games this week, they're in. over Montreal. But if Montreal, I don't know, it's tight. So yeah, I mean the Canadians, they got to go all in. And I think they're dangerous if they get in. And Columbus is dangerous if they get in. I mean, am I saying Columbus is going to win the Stanley Cup? No. But, if they get in, they believe. They have like that bad news bears type attitude. So it should be good. And, I love hockey. I mean, it's just the playoffs are just on another level. And everything is fought for, and like it's warfare. Um, so, I mean, Montreal, if they, I mean, I think the first round matchup is going to be Ottawa and Toronto, the Battle of Ontario. That's going to be fucking awesome. Yeah, I mean, Columbus is definitely the feel good story, but I don't know. I think Montreal is going to win it out. Yeah, I mean, if you look at Roller Coaster's cast, I mean, just George Siegel, who was a big actor back then, um, Richard Widmark, Helen Hunt. I'm trying to think, obviously Richard Widmark. Um, and a couple old school '70s actors. You had a nice appearance by the band The Sparks. And then if you're an LA native, which I am, to have the disc jockey Charlie Tuna, like he was a big deal in the '70s in LA. Um, I'm not. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. All right, you guys, I gotta go conduct some business. I might stream later on tonight, and thank you for the love and affection. I downloaded my newest comedy short. It took me a few days to figure out. There were some technical problems, which should not surprise any of you. But if you can go check that out, hit the like and subscribe button on your way out. I'll see you guys later. Bill Crockett, Earl Skakel, over and out.